Yo, what is up guys, I'm Heated here, back with another Fortnite Battle Royale video, and it's been a while since I've done a commentary video, but this was the main theme of the channel. This was the thing I was going into before I rebranded and started doing a lot more gameplays. So we're going to be getting back into the commentary theme of things, and today's topic is the changes that were made in patch notes 8.2. Now this is a controversial change that sparked a lot of uproar in the community, and a lot of people disliked because they took out the siphon and the material change in the latest update. And those basic changes were that you gain 50 health and shield from players, as well as gaining 50 of every kind of mats, and the farming rates went up by 40%, so that it was easier for you to get mats. The mat cap was at 500, and you would essentially be healed more often and be more prepared for third parties, and it was a lot easier for aggressive play and solo squads and stuff like that, you know, less rigged, because you can just get spammed, or if you finished a person, you'd be able to get mats and health so that you'd be prepared for the next fight to come. Now, I noticed a lot of people in the community like to be really negative about this change. A lot of people are saying this is one of the worst updates ever, and a lot of people are super negative about it, and they're disliking the game, and I cannot disagree. I am really disliking the change, and I have not been playing public matches for quite a while now. The only thing I've really been playing is creative and arenas, because those are the most fun game modes, as those give the best gameplay experience in my opinion. And I know we have been playing without the siphon changes before season 7, but it seems as if when that is gone, it's almost like everyone was used to it. It was something that should be there and was a change that was super essential, but yet it was still taken out. I'm not here to argue whether the siphon changes should have stayed or should be taken out, but I'm here to discuss why the update was actually a decent update. And despite a lot of people thinking otherwise, I think the update was actually decent, and I want to just reflect more on the positive side of Fortnite and the gameplay all together. So if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like as well as subscribe for more Fortnite content. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now I want to start the video off by looking at the patch notes. Now the patch notes themselves, a lot of the stuff that was put in here is not actually that bad if you look at it. So many people were focused on the siphon and material settings being taken out, but I really think this update altogether was a really good update. So we're just going to go over this. Now let me rephrase that. I don't think it was a really good update, because the siphon and the material settings was everything for public matches. Now I can't play public matches, but to me this isn't really a problem. I know a lot of people find more problems with not being able to play public matches, but personally this did not affect me as much. But I know this was a lot more detrimental to a lot of people, but once again I'm just trying to focus on the light side of the patch notes. So let's just look at this. By the way guys, this is one update ago, so the recent update that added the bow was added literally today as I'm recording this. So this was an update before that, and we'll just check it out, alright? So, start off, floor is lava. I don't want to go over too much of this mode specifics, but this is a great mode. One of the best LTMs they've added in a while. I think this is a really cool mode, and the fact that it constantly gives you mats so you have a chance to fight against other players on top of lava, it's a really cool aspect, and I really like it. Poison trap, I'll get into this later, but my opinion of this trap is it's actually a pretty decent addition. I have no problems with this, and I like the way it looks in the modes. Forged items. Now this is something a little, I feel like could be a little bit more controversial if more people focused on it, but personally I don't have a problem with forged items later. I don't have a problem with forged items, but I'll get into that later as well. Floor is lava. I'm not going to go over the specifics. If you want to look at the patch notes themselves, I'll leave a link in the description. Weapons and items. Let's start off with this. The baller no longer applies damage to players on collision. This is really good because people would just abuse ballers in endgame, and they basically weren't allowed to get hit, but they could hit you, so it was pretty bad. And some future baller stuff, so they weren't satisfied with how the ballers were being used, so they released a change where you could partially shoot through ballers, which is really good. You shouldn't be able to sit in a vehicle and not be damaged, because this was really OP late game. I think there still is sort of a problem with ballers late game, and in the fact that there's so many people late game, too many people are distracted to even shoot at ballers. So ballers will just give people free rotations and stuff like that. So ballers, I think, still definitely need to change, but they've made a step in the right direction. Now here's what everybody is mad about. Siphon changes. This basically said they reverted the siphon changes from 7.4 in the fact that they took out the health or shield when you get elimination. They took out the materials you get from elimination. They took out the cap of materials, which I don't know what the general opinion on this. I think the cap was a great change and it's really good. And the harvest rates, which is also really good because you don't have to waste your time farming mats all game. And these all have been added to Arena, so I'll talk about that later. But this overall was a terrible change. I'm not going to deny this, but I'm not going to be negative about it because I think the rest of this update, there was no mistakes other than this. Infantry rifle. This is pretty big. This basically makes an infantry rifle, I think it's a weaker AR really. Like, it's not better than a SCAR, it's not better, I mean, maybe you can make the point that it's better than a heavy AR now that they nerfed the heavy AR and buffed the infantry rifle. But hit scan, now that it is hit scan, it is way easier to hit shots because when it worked like a sniper, of course snipers are much harder to hit because they have bullet drop. But hit scan, basically, if you have the cursor on the person, the shot will hit. So they also reduce damage, but this isn't bad, seeing as you could spam your shots with hit scan and you could hit some consistent damage with it. So now the infantry rifle is an overall good move because now the infantry rifle, I wouldn't say is meta, but it's viable. Poison dart traps, like I said earlier, this is a very viable change. This is a very viable item that they added. It's situational, it's very situational, but they're traps, so they don't affect the game too much because poison trap does not take a slot in your inventory, so it's not like you shouldn't pick it up. It's definitely useful. It can shoot up to 3 grid cells away, so this is really good. So you could hit people from far away. You could use this to, say, get inside people's boxes and stuff like that, and it's pretty useful. It could do up to 80 damage. Once it hits one time, it'll do 80 damage to the health, by the way. So if they are 80 health or below, they will instantly die to this unless they pop meds or something like that. Now, forge items. I thought this was going to be a controversial update, if I'm going to be completely honest, but I don't think anybody has experienced these items well enough. Like, I have barely encountered bananas, barely encountered coconuts, and never encountered peppers. I think the intention for the peppers was to get more people into the desert area because that place is a little unexplored after they added the essentially tropical area. But I think overall this just brings a new freshness to the game, having more consumables, less RNG. You know, the peppers I was a little skeptical about because you have a speed boost. This update is old. Now you get a 20% speed boost for 20 seconds. So now you run faster for a longer time, and you also gain health from it. Also, these other ones, you gain health, you gain 5 health no matter what, and I believe the coconuts, you get shield as well. Yes, it replenishes health and shields. So yeah, these are all just basically non-RNG heals, and that's really good, and I think there should be, it's good that they added more of this. I don't know if they should add more, but this was a good addition overall. Buried treasure, not a big deal, just made it a lot easier to use. Pirate cannon also made easier for the cannon to use. The cannon still has some glitches, but this was a great step in the right direction once again. And a lot of bug fixes, along with some UI changes, and I don't know why. I don't know why they make changes like this, knowing that they took a big chunk of this game that made pubs overall not fun. And if you guys don't know what pubs are, public matches, solos, duos, and quads. But yeah, now here's the main highlight. The main highlight of this update: arena mode. Arena mode is essentially pubs before they took out siphon and material settings. So the arena game mode has the same settings as the pubs before this update, and it's essentially a ranked mode, a permanent ranked mode. So this was something I've been asking for, and I believe I released a video on it, and they finally added it, and it's really cool. I really like it. It's really enjoyable. It gets you into different cups, and it allows you to compare to your other friends and show off your game skills, and I really like that. And solo and duo modes right now, I don't know if they're going to add squads, but solos and duos is how it should be. You know, there's no competitive squad events, at least not yet, so solos and duos is good enough for me, I guess. But the only problem I really have with this is that they don't have squads, because squads is the worst game mode in the game right now, because it's simply just so hard to feed a whole squad with health and shields. So when you get kills in squads, you're able to get health and you're able to get shields, so that way you don't have to worry about a squad being totally barren of anything. And squads just really sucks, because squads, there's just multiple parties just jumping on top of each other. There's third parties, fourth parties, fifth parties, and if you don't get the siphon and material settings, then you're basically getting third and fourth party, and you have nothing to do, because you know that there's multiple squads piling on you. You're running out of mats, you're running out of health. There's literally little chance of survival. But because of the siphon settings and the material settings before, squads and solo squads were a lot easier to play. They were a lot more fun to play. Now they're just terrible. But arena, solos and duos, it allows the same settings. And another problem, I said I only have one problem with the arena game mode, but another problem really is that they do not, provide help for people who are higher points. If you're higher points, or higher hype, as I should say, it says hype right here, that's the point system, then you have long queue times. I personally don't have a problem with this right now. My queue times are around 50 seconds estimate time. So it's not too bad at the moment, because I'm on around 210 points. So it's not too bad for me, but I know a lot of pro players are dealing with this problem because they want to play the game, and arena mode is really the only fun way to play the game at the moment, other than the creative. And it's giving them large queue times where they're basically sitting in a lobby for the majority of the time they're actually playing Fortnite, which is a really big deal to a lot of streamers who are trying to entertain the stream but literally can't play the game. So that's just me. They definitely should fix pubs, but they also fix more performance and on animation stuff, so more bug fixes, more performance stuff they fix, all of that. Now, everything I read, literally the only bad thing in these patch notes was a siphon and material change. In my opinion, this change was terrible. Probably one of the worst changes they could make. This is not, however, the worst update. This update was really great. Great LTM, great item, great forge items. Overall, just great, honestly, in everything except for the pub changes they made. And because they made pub changes, everyone looks down on this update. And this update is really only a mediocre update because of that. Because I said because like 20 times there. But pubs are just boring. You simply get kills, get third party, and it's just so hard to play aggressively now because you have to camp and get mats, and if you get shot up, you get no heals for getting a kill, so you're basically screwed in the next fights you get. It's really, really bad, but in my opinion, this version 8.2 patch notes update was a good update. Wow, it took a lot for me to say all that. This is going to take a lot of editing, but if you guys did watch the whole video, thank you so much for watching the video. If you did, drop a like as well as subscribe for more Fortnite content. Sorry if the mic quality was a little low on this recording because I'm using my phone and I broke my old phone. So this one is a downgrade from that, and it's older phone, so if the mic is not as good, I apologize. But hopefully this video entertained you either way. Once again, drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And hopefully I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.